If you've been procrastinating starting your fitness journey, this video is for you. If you're waiting for the perfect time to start your fitness journey, I promise you it'll never come. Whether it's changes to my diet or my workout routine, leaving a job, ending a relationship, I have spent so much of my life waiting for the perfect time. As your friend, I'm here to tell you that the perfect time will never come. You'll never suddenly have all this free time open up or all this motivation or the answers to every question and know exactly what you need to do. The time to start is right now. If you're not sure how, I'm gonna walk you through all of the steps to start a fitness journey you'll actually be able to stick to. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll have a plan to make healthy changes in your life and you're gonna go out and do it. Don't try to skip because I'll know. Don't ask me how I'll know, but I will. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cadence and I'm so happy to have you. On this channel, I share and test evidence-based health and fitness tools so we can reach our goals together. If that sounds like something you're interested in, consider subscribing. It's all well and good to watch this video, but it's not worth very much unless you actually take action. If even one person watching this video makes a change in their life, then it'll all be worth it. If you are that one person, leave me a comment and let me know. It would seriously make my day. Now, a word of caution. Nothing changes if you don't change. It's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be challenging, but it's also challenging to get to the end of every day or year and feel disappointed in yourself because you didn't do what you set out to do. I've been there, and that is really tough too. So choose what challenge you wanna have. Now let's get into the step-by-step process. First, an exercise. Imagine yourself a year from now if you did make these healthy changes. Imagine yourself if you got started today. Pause the video if you need to, take some time to really think this through. Imagine how you'll look, feel, and what you'll be able to do. Now, imagine yourself a year from now if you didn't get started today. Imagine yourself never becoming a healthier you. Imagine yourself never feeling stronger, faster, losing fat, gaining muscle, learning how to do that skill, feeling energized, feeling proud of yourself. Imagine if this time next year, you were exactly where you are right now. Come back to this visualization exercise anytime you need to. I use it a couple times a week at least. Visualizing failure is a really powerful tool to help kick us into gear and give us some motivation. For better or worse, visualizing failure seems to be a lot more powerful than visualizing success, so do with that information what you will. We need to figure out your why. For me, figuring out my why was the difference between actually being able to stick to a fat loss program and trying over and over every week but never actually getting anywhere. Everyone's different, but for me, when my why was purely about how I looked and my aesthetics, it was so hard for me to stay motivated and stick to it. But once I shifted to a place of really loving and caring for myself and wanting to eat healthy foods, not just to lose fat and have six-pack abs, but because I wanted to fuel my body to feel my best and be my healthiest version of myself, that's when it became so much easier to stick to. Your why could be totally different than that. It could be about how you feel, it could be reducing your risk of disease, it could be to be fit and healthy for your partner or your family and live a long life. Maybe you just want to prove to yourself that you can do it. Whatever your why is, take some time to think about it and really anchor to that. It can be so powerful to stay consistent, disciplined, and motivated. Step 2, what is your goal? I have a full video on getting clear on what you want and picking the right goals, and I'll link that down below if you want to do more of a deep dive, but I will give you a couple of quick tips here. Essentially, we want to pick a goal that we care about and pick something that seems possible but not too easy. Contrary to popular belief, if a goal is too easy for us and we think it's something we could easily do at any time, it doesn't actually activate our nervous system in order to kick us into gear and actually go after that goal. Same with a goal that feels impossible, that we think we never could actually achieve. Our body's like, I don't care. We're not gonna kick the systems into gear because no way we're actually gonna be able to do that. So like Goldilocks, we have to find the perfect middle ground, something that would be challenging but is achievable. Picking a goal in that range increases your likelihood of achieving it significantly. We also want to be specific. So rather than saying get healthier, say I want to have 80 ounces of water per day minimum and add some extra water for every hour of exercise that I do. We also want it to be measurable. So put specific numbers and metrics on things where it's possible rather than just, going for the vibes. Here are some general categories and ideas for this. You could think performance-based. So for example, lift X amount of weight, run a mile in X minutes, hold a plank for X amount of time, or do X amount of burpees in 1 minute. It could also be aesthetics-based. So maybe you want to lose an inch on your waist, gain an inch on your waist, go down a pant size. In this category, I would beware of the scale because we can see tons of fluctuations with our weight on the scale for things as simple as water weight, and most of us don't want to be losing weight if it means we're losing just muscle. Measuring fat loss is a little bit trickier than purely measuring weight loss, which the scale can tell us if we're losing weight, but we're not sure if that weight is muscle or fat. And ideally, we want to be losing fat and preserving muscle as much as possible. It also could be habit-based, so maybe you want to go to the gym 3 times per week. sleep 8 hours or more every night, wake up at 6 a.m. every day, or get some morning sunlight on a daily basis. Next, we need to think about obstacles and try to plan for them in advance. Make a list of all the potential obstacles that could keep you from achieving your health goal. This is a really important time to be honest with yourself. When I envision a future version of myself, often she doesn't have all of the pitfalls that current me has. So I imagine me tomorrow is gonna have no problem getting up and going to the gym, eating healthy, and doing everything I need to do to reach my goals. But then the day comes and I realize I'm still me, and I still struggle with a lot of these things. So try not to look at your future self with rose-colored glasses and be honest with yourself. I'll give you some examples from my own life and personal experience of potential obstacles in a health plan. For me, it can be tricky to find and choose healthy foods when I'm eating out with my boyfriend, friends, or family. I'm also really bad with procrastinating my workouts, sometimes so much so that I actually run out of time to do them before I need to start work for the day. Sometimes when I'm too lazy to cook and clean my own dinner, or I just get really sick of my meal prep that I made, I'll just order takeout, and usually I don't pick very healthy options. During the holidays or other big events, it's really hard for me to resist treats, especially if I feel like they're seasonal and only available for that specific window. Like I'm gonna get the peppermint mocha. Once you have your own list of obstacles, go through each of them and come up with solutions to the obstacle. They don't have to be complicated. They can be super simple, but having them planned in advance is so effective for actually being able to execute when the time comes. For example, to prevent procrastinating my workouts in the morning, I can reduce friction by laying out my clothes the night before. I make my pre-workout and my element electrolyte drink and just have everything ready to go so that it's a little bit less painful to get out of bed and get ready. Or during the holidays, for example, I can make sure that I have a protein shake every day so that I feel full and satisfied, and I'm not going into eating these treats to try and get full, and I can just enjoy them as treats. It can feel a little bit silly coming up with solutions for some of these really simple things, but trust me, once you lock that in and you visualize yourself actually going through that process when the time comes, it will be so much easier to actually do it. And there's some science that when we envision ourselves doing a habit, it actually reduces some of the friction that happens when we actually need to go execute on that habit in real life. So I mean, if you can visualize yourself doing your habit from bed and make it easier to do the next morning, I'd say that's a win. Now we need to think about what a reasonable time commitment is for you to work towards this goal on a weekly basis. Of course, holidays and stuff like that will come up that'll get in the way, but this is kind of just on a general, regular basis. Depending on the goal, the amount of time you'll need to commit to it can vary greatly. Like for example, if you want to drink more water, that'll only take a few minutes a day. But if you want to work out 5 times a week, that could take like 5 hours or more. The place that I like to start for this is looking at my schedule with the non-negotiables. So work, school, commuting, things like that. Find the truly empty spaces in your schedule, being reasonable with yourself. Like obviously we're not going to spend every waking minute outside of work working towards our health and fitness goals. That's just not realistic. So find the realistic time slots that you can pencil in to work towards your goal. For example, let's say you do this exercise and you find you have 3 hours a week to work out, and you've decided your main goal is building muscle. One thing you could do during those time slots is do 3 lifting workouts, 1 lower body, 1 upper body, and 1 full body. After your workout, just remember to get some protein in and try to continue that on a daily basis. And there you go. You've taken your available time and created an actual action plan to execute on your goal. Now, of course, it would be awesome to add some cardio work in there and mobility and flexibility, and there's all these other health goals that you can have besides building muscle. But since your primary goal right now is to build muscle in this example, it's okay to use all of the available time you have to work towards that single goal, and know that later you can either swap out your workouts to add in more cardio or to work towards other goals, or maybe you can free up some time in your schedule to work towards other goals in addition to building muscle. If you're a perfectionist like I am, I have some bad news for you. You are not going to be perfect at anything you try for the first time, and this is no different. Progress is so much more important than perfection. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn from them, but please don't let your perfectionism stand in the way of making progress. Ideally, we want to look back at ourselves when we first started our fitness journey and cringe. I know that I look back on old videos of myself and I'm like, what was I actually doing? I did some silly stuff at the start, and I hope that doesn't scare you. For me, embracing the idea that my first day is going to be my worst day and it will only go up from there as I learn more, as I practice more, and as I get the hang of it, that was really freeing for me. So I hope embracing imperfection can be freeing for you as well. In my experience, 4 average workouts per week is so much more effective than 1 perfect workout. Repetition of a habit is what helps to establish the neural circuits in our brain that make that habit more reflexive. So the more times you do things, even if you're not doing those things perfectly, perfectly helps to establish those circuits. Also, in my experience, those 4 average workouts end up being more energy expenditure and more work done than the one perfect workout. If your goal is to improve yourself, it's just something to think about. Usually by doing something more often, even if it's not perfect, you can make more progress over time. Now you have to do something. You can research all you want, but if you don't take action, nothing is going to change. I used to spend all of this time procrastinating my health goals by researching because I wanted to find the optimal training routine or the perfect diet to try. Let me be clear with you, excessive researching is a procrastination tool, one that I am very familiar with. After a baseline level of safety, of course, like you don't want to go into the gym and start throwing weight around and injure yourself or start a diet that puts you at physical risk. But after we reach that baseline level of safety, you need to just start. Exercise and nutrition can be so confusing, and you go online trying to learn about these tools and there are so many conflicting opinions. It can be really scary to know if you're doing things right or wrong. The truth is, any small changes you make in the right direction are worthwhile. Some people will say that doing Pilates is the best way to work out, or weightlifting, or you need to be running or doing cardio, and some people will say that running is bad for your joints. But let me tell you a secret. As long as you're performing these exercises safely, any exercise is better than nothing. Literally anything. Like, you could pause this video and go run up and down the stairs a couple times. And if that's the only thing that you did today, that would be so much better than laying in bed and just watching this video. Some people say that your diet needs to be keto or high carb or vegan. But let me tell you a secret. If you start eating more unprocessed whole foods, or maybe you prioritize protein a little bit more, you are guaranteed to be healthier than before. Even if you just swap one snack. Maybe you have a glass of water instead of a soda. Maybe you have carrots and hummus instead of chips. These little changes add up. It doesn't need to be complicated. Personally, I love making things complicated because I love learning about the human body and how it works. If you do too, then you can definitely learn all of these nuances and details over time. But don't waste any more time than you've already wasted. Start now. If you're interested in some ideas for healthy habits and changes you can make, I have a video coming out on that soon that I will link down below. Leave me a comment letting me know what habits you want to build, because it's seriously so motivating to have that accountability and to have other people doing it with you. I will tell you, the healthy habit I'm working on right now is getting morning sunlight every day. I was doing it over the summer. I fell off the bandwagon and I'm trying to get back into it. So yeah, let me know what you're working on. I'll also link a playlist with all of my videos about how to better yourself in 2024. If you didn't hear, I'm doing 25 days of fitness on my channel where I'm posting 12 long videos and 25 short videos in the month of December, so I would love to have you tag along. If you found this video helpful, the best way to support my channel is give this video a like and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. And I will see you next time.